My video for April the 9th, 2019 is video number 3050. The title is a question. God's message, is it fear, love, or confusion? A good friend sent me a message from a nice older woman that I'm sure was sincere. I commented on the video, quote, "That's the kind of message I heard often when I was younger and in the evangelical fundamentalist church. On the one hand, I'd like to see real change. On the other hand, the tribulation part of her message is just more of the fear-mongering that is rampant in those churches. By the way, I preached my first official sermon in the largest Assembly of God church in New Jersey when I had just turned 14. I still feel that I am on a mission from God, but I do not do the fear-mongering. God's message. I do not do the fear-mongering. There's a period there. Sorry about that. God's message is to love one another, relevant in all religions," end quote. Then, just after I finished listening to the lady, another friend commented on the video I had posted a bit earlier. Quote, "Ron, we are not separate from anything. We are that everything that is. Heart, believe it or not, heart." And I can't put the image of a heart, so I put the word. Anyway, that's the end of that quote. So, how are we to discern messages that come to us? For me, the answer is, what resonance or dissonance is felt when heard? Is God wrathful or loving? Are we dealing with more than one God? If you're confused, welcome to the club. When I was younger, I thought I had all the answers. I believed, as the elderly woman said in her video, I was raised in the Assembly of God. I preached my first sermon, like I said, when I was 14 years old, and I had just turned 14. And they said I'm going to be another Oral Roberts or Billy Graham. We brought nothing into this world, and it is certain we carry nothing out. That was the text of my sermon. I can still remember that far back because I probably talked about it a lot too. In any case, folks, we have been fed a diet of information mixed with disinformation all of our lives, on every imaginable subject. Nothing is clear. It is a confused mess. Everybody believes that what they were told or what they have come to believe, everybody believes that's the truth, the whole truth and nothing but the truth. I used to think that way too, but it isn't so. It isn't so. That's why discernment is such an important, I think it's probably the most important gift of the Spirit, to be able to discern truth from error. And there is so much error mixed in with our religions, certainly with our politics. The financial system of the world is nothing but a confused mess. I mean, when certain individuals that don't pay any taxes at all and are exempt from taxation can create money out of thin air for their own use for whatever agenda they feel is important. That's the world that we live in. That's the Illuminati or the elite or whatever name you want to attach to them. Those are the people that, quote, run the world. Now, this lady is saying there's going to be, and now I'm talking about the first one that I referred to in the blurb, the older woman. She indicated that there's going to be 3 days of darkness, that God's going to shut down the power grid for 3 days. And then after that 3 days, the Illuminati is going to get the power turned back on for us. And they're going to be bringing us into the tribulation. It's going to last either 3.5 or 7 years. Now, this is what I was raised on. Uh, and some say that the church will go through the entire 7 years. Others say there will be a rapture in the middle of it, where it gets really, really bad for the last 3.5 years. Folks, it's been really, really bad in a lot of countries around the world for a long time. Tribulation is not something that is only measured by what happens in America or in the United States or whatever, or even Europe. It's not measured by that. It's measured by the whole world. And the whole world, by the way, one of the comments, she talked about the globe, or mentioned the globe. There is no globe, the flat earther said. And that was one of the comments on her video. See, this is what I mean. We are in a state of confusion, trying to figure out what is true and what isn't. But this I know is true. If we were to love and listen to one another and had the ability to lay aside our preconceived judgments and opinions and just listen and allow the exchange of ideas and take them in as neutral a way as possible without arguing, because once a conversation gets into an argumentative stage, it ceases to be a conversation. It's just headbutting. It's just ego clashing. It's not going to get anywhere. We have to step back and we have to look at it objectively and say, where is this person coming from? What's their background? Obviously, someone that's raised in India in poverty is not going to have the same perspective as someone who was raised in New York City or the country in the United States, the rural areas. It's going to be a completely different perspective on what is real, because our environment influences our perspective on reality. And reality is not a fixed thing. It is a movable object based on point of observation. This is something that is so important for us to understand. I'd like to see the second lady say, yeah, we're all one and everything is going to be wonderful. I'd like to believe that. It can be. Is it going to require 3 days of darkness? Is it going to require some cataclysmic event that wakes us all up suddenly? Is the tribulation going to happen after such an event, as this older woman indicated in her message from God, pages of information? I don't know the answer. I wish I could tell you absolutely without a doubt that I know the truth. And I used to believe I did. I only believe now, as I keep on saying, that the only way out is to love. The only way out is to listen. The only way out is to learn things that we haven't yet been exposed to, and to consider them all as valid points from someone's perspective. Love will do that. Ego will not. Ego will say, I'm right, you're wrong. End of conversation. Well, I don't want to end the conversation. I'd like to get the conversation actually started. And for many people, it has started. Many people are open-minded, but there's still a vast majority that are not, that are clueless to all of the things that I'm talking about and all of the perspectives that need to be shared, and we need to come to some basic understanding if we're ever going to rise out of this insanity. Thank you, folks, for listening, and namaste.